PlayStation expands beyond consoles. New multi-platform strategy revealed. The gaming landscape is evolving, and Sony is making bold moves that could redefine the PlayStation brand as we know it. With a new high-level job opening, the company is signaling an ambitious push towards multi-platform gaming, a strategy that could bring its iconic franchises to platforms far beyond its own consoles. But here's where it gets intriguing. How will this expansion impact PlayStation's identity as a hardware-first company? And what does it mean for gamers who cherish the exclusivity of its games? Sony Interactive Entertainment has listed a role for a senior director of multi-platform and account management, a position aimed at steering the commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios titles across non-PlayStation platforms. This includes major digital storefronts like Steam, Epic Games Store, Xbox, Nintendo, and even mobile ecosystems. The person in this role will report directly to the Vice President of Commercial Management and will be based in San Mateo, California, though remote work is possible, with a preference for candidates on the West Coast. So, what exactly does this role entail? According to the official job description, the senior director will oversee long-term commercial planning and focus on maximizing profitability for PlayStation games released on other platforms. This involves fostering strong relationships with external platform partners, ensuring smooth coordination between Sony and these ecosystems. The fact that Sony is prioritizing collaboration with competitors like Xbox and Nintendo highlights a significant shift in mindset, one that emphasizes accessibility over exclusivity. This isn't the first time Sony has hinted at such a transition. During Sony Group Corporation's Fireside Chat 2025, the executive Hideyuki Nishino, CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and Herman Holst, head of Worldwide Studios, discussed the growing trend of multi-platform releases. While both leaders reaffirmed the PlayStation console's central role in their strategy, they also acknowledged the importance of broadening the brand's reach. Nishino emphasizing that the PlayStation console remains the heart of Sony's gaming ecosystem, offering unparalleled immersion and performance. However, he noted that expanding to other platforms doesn't diminish this core value. It enhances it by introducing PlayStation's beloved franchises to new audiences. Holst echoed this sentiment, adding that Sony is thoughtful about which games make the leap to other systems. He stressed that quality will remain a top priority, ensuring that flagship single-player experiences continue to showcase the technical prowess of PlayStation hardware. But let's talk about the elephant in the room: competition. When questioned about Microsoft's rumored pivot away from a hardware-centric model, Nishino called the rivalry healthy, arguing that it fosters innovation across the industry. Despite shifting market dynamics, Sony remains confident in its current trajectory, believing there's no urgent need to abandon its console-focused roots. What makes this development particularly fascinating is the delicate balance Sony must strike. On one hand, the company wants to preserve the prestige of its exclusive titles. On the other, it recognizes the potential benefits of reaching wider audiences through platforms like Xbox or Nintendo Switch. Could this dual approach alienate loyal PlayStation fans who see exclusivity as a key selling point? Or would it attract new players who might otherwise never experience PlayStation's stellar lineup? With this latest hiring initiative, Sony is laying the groundwork for a future where PlayStation transcends traditional boundaries. It's a calculated risk, but one that reflects the realities of modern gaming. As technology advances and player preferences evolve, companies must adapt or risk being left behind. Yet, questions linger. Is Sony moving too quickly into uncharted territory? Or is this precisely the kind of forward-thinking strategy needed to thrive in today's competitive market? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think Sony's multi-platform strategy will strengthen or weaken the PlayStation brand? Share your opinions in the comments below, and don't hold back. Sony expands PlayStation Studios games beyond consoles. What it means for gamers. In a bold move that could reshape the gaming landscape, Sony is setting its sights on expanding the reach of PlayStation Studios games beyond its own hardware. This strategic shift includes potential partnerships with platforms like Xbox, Steam, and Nintendo Switch, among others. Over the past year, Microsoft has made some contentious choices regarding its first-party Xbox game lineup, opting to release previously exclusive titles such as Forza Horizon on competing consoles. This decision initially appeared to signal a desperate attempt to revitalize an ailing platform, as Xbox hardware sales have struggled against the formidable competition posed by PlayStation and Nintendo. However, the narrative has begun to shift. Despite the lackluster sales figures for its hardware, Xbox has seen a surge in console playtime, thanks in large part to a series of high-quality game releases and the expansion of Xbox cloud gaming. The platform still boasts millions of active users, which has led even its fiercest competitor, PlayStation, to self-publish titles like Helldivers 2 on Xbox. This indicates that the rivalry is evolving, and Sony is not content to sit idly by. A recent job posting on PlayStation's official hiring platform reveals that the company is looking for a senior director of multi-platform and account management. This role is pivotal, as it involves executing a global commercial strategy for PlayStation Studios titles across various digital platforms, extending beyond just PlayStation hardware. The job description hints at a significant shift in strategy, suggesting that PlayStation is ready to bring its acclaimed titles, such as God of War, The Last of Us, and Horizon, to competing platforms like Steam and Xbox. The successful candidate will lead a team focused on building relationships with platforms like Xbox and Windows PC, including popular digital storefronts like Steam and the Epic Games Store. The goal is clear: to enhance sales and broaden the audience for PlayStation's offerings. The job listing emphasizes the importance of driving long-term revenue growth and expanding the reach of PlayStation Studios titles beyond their traditional confines. This shift in strategy is not just a reaction to market pressures. It reflects a broader transformation within the gaming industry. PlayStation has been signaling to investors its desire to increase profit margins, and one effective way to achieve this is by selling more software. With gamers increasingly reluctant to switch platforms, it makes sense for Sony to capitalize on the vast number of Xbox users who may not have experienced its critically acclaimed titles. Many of these players have likely never played games like Days Gone or Ghost of Tsushima, which could perform exceptionally well on Xbox. Moreover, PlayStation's reputation for delivering high-quality games comes with a premium price tag. By making older titles available on Xbox, Sony could generate significant revenue without jeopardizing its hardware sales, which would become stable as players have built extensive digital libraries. Conversely, Xbox users who have invested heavily in their platform are unlikely to abandon it for service gain from other systems, where the majority of gaming time and revenue currently resides. As speculation grows that the next generation of Xbox may support Steam, which already features Sony's games, it could be advantageous for Sony to bypass intermediaries and self-publish directly on Xbox. Perhaps Microsoft has even offered a more favorable revenue share than Steam, paving the way for this budding partnership. Only time will reveal the full extent of these developments. In today's competitive landscape, capturing the attention of gamers is more challenging than ever, with platforms like Netflix, TikTok, and enduring favorites like Fortnite and Roblox vying for consumer engagement. Being present across multiple platforms is crucial. This omnipresence may be the key to standing out in a crowded market. As we look ahead, it'll be fascinating to observe how the gaming industry continues to evolve. Personally, I have already pre-ordered Helldivers 2 on Xbox, and I'm eager to see what the future holds. Jez Corden serves as the executive editor at Windows Central, where he specializes in all things Xbox and gaming. Known for his exclusive news and insightful analysis related to the Microsoft ecosystem, Jez is fueled by a passion for gaming and a good cup of tea. You can follow him on Twitter, X, and catch his insights on the XB2 podcast, which delves into the world of Xbox. Sony's shocking move. More PS5 games coming to Nintendo Switch? The walls between gaming platforms are crumbling, and Sony might be leading the charge. A bombshell job listing from PlayStation's headquarters suggests the company could be preparing to flood rival platforms like Nintendo Switch with more PS5 titles. But this potential gaming revolution comes with heated debates about brand loyalty and industry norms. Sony recently made waves by announcing Helldivers 2. Its explosive multiplayer hit would land on Xbox consoles. Now, eagle-eyed observers have uncovered a strategic hiring post, visible here, for a senior director of multi-platform and account management. A role explicitly tasked with expanding PlayStation Studios games to all digital platforms beyond PlayStation hardware, including direct competitors like Nintendo and Xbox. But here's where it gets controversial. The job description reveals plans to optimize profits through multi-platform releases while managing relationships with rival companies. This isn't just about porting old games. The position involves shaping Sony's entire commercial strategy, the PC stores, Steam Ethic, mobile, and competing consoles. While Sony has dabbled in cross-platform releases like LEGO Horizon Adventures on Switch and PC ports, this systematic approach suggests a fundamental shift in how PlayStation views exclusivity. And this is the part most people miss. The listing specifically name drops Nintendo twice, hinting at potential behind-the-scenes collaborations that would have been unthinkable during the heated console wars era. Could we see God of War on a Nintendo system? A Spider-Man title on Xbox? The role's focus on mid-range commercial planning implies these wouldn't just be legacy releases, but strategic launches timed for maximum impact. Here's the burning question. Does this signal the end of exclusive games as we know them? Or is Sony simply chasing live service revenue after Helldivers 2's success? Critics argue that diluting PlayStation's exclusive lineup weakens the PS5's appeal, while supporters counter that reaching 130 million Switch users makes business sense. One thing's certain, as first reported by Push Square, Sony's moves could redefine gaming ecosystems. The company already tests waters with PC ports, but putting new PlayStation Studios games on Nintendo hardware would be groundbreaking. Imagine the irony of Mario and Kratos sharing a digital storefront. Would you welcome this cross-platform future, or does it undermine what makes each console unique? Sound off below. Is multi-platform expansion smart business or brand betrayal? Let's debate in the comments. For context, Sony's job listing outlines responsibilities including profit optimization, multi-platform team leadership, and partner management. While this might extend existing strategies, the Nintendo references are particularly eyebrow-raising. Stay tuned for updates. Original reporting via Push Square, written by Liam Doolan, gaming journalist with 15+ years experience covering industry shifts.